So I want to welcome everybody to the Hawker Heights Chamber Chat. This Chamber Chat is brought to you by the Belton Area Chamber of Commerce, the Hawker Heights Chamber of Commerce, and of course our partners over in Temple, the Temple Chamber of Commerce. So we appreciate everybody working together to be able to get the SBA information out to our community. And all of the chambers will be sharing this after our presentation today from our representative. And our guest speaker with us today is Mr. Luis Santos, and he is with the Office of the Disaster Assistance with the U.S. Small Business Administration. So, and Luis, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. I know that you've got a lot of information to share, and of course we want to be able to hopefully have some time to open it up for questions as well.
Sure. And thank you everyone. Thank you, Gina, for the invitation. And we're really pleased, and hopefully there's going to be a great information for everyone that is here in this room. So I'm going to start right away. My name, like Gina mentioned, my name is Luis Santos Serrano. I'm a public information officer with the U.S. Small Business Administration, Office of the Disaster Assistance in Fields Operations Center West. And there's a new disaster declaration in the state of Texas. This disaster declaration covers, at this moment, 126 counties that have been declared for disaster assistance, specifically individual assistance. I will share some documents that I think it will be really helpful for everyone in attendance and for all people that have been impacted. I want to double check if everyone can, if I can direct your attention to the screen. I just want to be sure if everyone can see the document that I have showing right now. Yes, okay. So a disaster assistance, and specifically this disaster assistance is a presidential disaster declaration. When there's a presidential disaster declaration, FEMA, or the Federal Emergency Management Agency, is the lead agency on this type of declaration. They work alongside with the state, and a Small Business Administration joins FEMA to offer their disaster assistance program. What does Small Business Administration offer? Well, they offer low-interest disaster loans to non-farm businesses of all sizes, private nonprofits, homeowners, and renters. In the Texas counties, like I mentioned before, they have at this moment 126 counties, including Bell County. And at this moment, I'm showing all the counties that have been declared. Specifically, for all individuals and families, including businesses, who suffered losses caused by the severe winter storm that began in February 11, 2021. Type of loans that are available. Homeowners, if you suffer losses up to $200,000 to repair or replace real estate damage, and up to $40,000 to replace personal property. Real estate damage will be included for your primary residence. If a homeowner has multiple residents, your primary one is the one that enters in this specifically homeowner's loan. It will be up to $200,000 specifically to repair or replace real estate damage. And if you need to replace personal property, including a vehicle, a TV, and it was directly impacted by the severe winter storm, you can apply for up to $40,000. Renters, the renters, of course, doesn't own business or a homeowner, but they can still apply for the personal property loan, that it will be up to $40,000 to repair or replace this personal property damage. Businesses, property damage up to $2 million to repair or replace real estate, machinery and equipment, inventory, and other assets that were damaged or destroyed. And this is available to businesses of any size and private and non-profit organizations. The economic injury disaster loan, that's another type of loan, only for small business and most private non-profit organizations suffering adverse financial impacts of the disaster. And this has to be attached specifically to the severe winter storm if your business has been impacted for that time period that began on February 11. You can apply as well for up to $2 million. Or if you apply a combination of loans, the maximum amount is $2 million. We have established, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have established a virtual disaster loan outreach center that is open Mondays, Fridays, 6 a.m. Central Time to 6 p.m. Central Time. And you can contact an SBA customer service representative as well via email, focwassistance@sba.gov, or by phone, 800-659-2955. And even though I'm showing the screen, I would like to repeat this number because this number is really helpful. If you need to apply, you don't know how to apply, you need assistance how to apply, or even after you apply, you want the latest update about your application, the number is 800-659-2955. The great question, how you can apply? Well, direct yourself to disasterloanassistance.sba.gov. That's the direct access for you to fill out the application form. Once you fill out the application form, a loan officer and a loss verifier are going to contact you to request your documents so you can, of course, sustain and show your damages so they can make an estimation and verify if you're eligible for a disaster assistance. I'm going to really quickly go to the other document that I have with me. This is specifically the Texas Declaration 16876. This is not something that you have, of course, to memorize, but when you direct yourself to the SBA.gov page, you can find this declaration. You can verify if your county has been declared as part of this disaster declaration and if you can apply for it. Important dates, and I'm going to do a really quick zoom here so you can take a look. There is an application filling deadline for physical damage that we discussed before, that business physical disaster loan, that home disaster loan. You can apply, or for personal property loan, you can apply until April 20, 2021, this year. For the economic injury disaster loan, you can apply for up to until November 19, 2021. It's important to know that because sometimes businesses at the beginning of a disaster are not so aware that they have been really impacted economically. So we have 9 months after the date of the disaster declaration. I'm going to show it on the top again. This event started occurring in February 11th. So 9 months after that disaster declaration, you can apply for that economic injury disaster loan. What I mean, of course, this is for small business, small agricultures, cooperatives, small business engaged in agriculture, and most private nonprofits of all sides. And the specific is to meet their ordinary and necessary financial obligations that cannot be met as a direct result of this disaster. Credit requirements. If you're asking yourself, well, how can what are the type of requirements that the Small Business Administration base the eligibility, right? Credit history. Applicant must have a credit history acceptable to the SBA. Repayment. Applicant must show the ability to repay all loans. And collateral. Collateral is required for physical loss loans over $25,000 all, and all economic injury disaster loans over $25,000. SBA takes real estate as collateral when it's available. SBA will not decline a loan for lack of collateral. but requires you to pledge what is available. This information, you can definitely direct yourself to the SBA.gov webpage, and you can have access to these documents. And as well, I have shared these documents with Miss Gina, and I'm very sure now that she can share with all of you if you're interested to know more information about the specific of the disaster. One more thing that I would like to share with you is, if everyone can direct your attention, maybe you will ask, for this disaster, what are the interest rates? Well, home loan, it can be as low as 1.25%, and if you have credit available elsewhere, 2.5%. For businesses, 3% as low as, or 6%. Nonprofit organizations, it will be 2%. And I will show you that an applicant which SBA determined to have the ability to provide his or her own recovery is deemed to have credit available elsewhere. We cannot determine this on the field, but you should apply, and in the process of applying, when an SBA official and representative verify your specific application, they will determine the interest rate. A great thing to share with you is, if the SBA cannot offer you a loan and determine that they cannot offer you a loan, you can request a reconsideration on up to 6 months of the day of the decision. And as well, if you apply for this loan and SBA is able to offer you the loan, and you decide to take a different kind of amount of money, you can request that. And SBA will put that determination, they will verify if they can do that. If you decide not to take the loan after the SBA offered, you can do that as well. So there's no commitment, there's no obligation to take an SBA when SBA offers you a loan if you are eligible for it. If you decide that you don't want to, you can come, you have up to 6 months to request a reconsideration on this matter. So I'm back here. Basically, that's what covers the Small Business Administration disaster assistance in a presidential disaster declaration. One thing that I would like to point out is that we encourage everyone first to register with FEMA. FEMA has a multiple disaster assistance programs. They're the lead agency in this declaration, and we definitely encourage everyone to register with FEMA, even though you think that you maybe are not eligible or you don't need the assistance. Register with them because there's a deadline, and it will be better to register and to verify what kind of assistance are you eligible than the deadline pass and then you're not going to be eligible to even submit an application, right? After you register with FEMA, you can apply for a small business disaster loan. And like I mentioned before, if SBA offers you the loan, you can decide if you want to take it at the moment or no. There's no obligation to take the loan. And definitely, Gina, I think that I wanted to be kind of direct to the action and brief, so we can have time and I'm available, right, to answer some questions for everyone that is in attendance.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate that. And I know that there might be some other questions. And one thing I would like to ask you is just coming through, the COVID pandemic that we've done, so many of our small businesses, including the nonprofits, have done some of the EIDL loans. And that process, the grant we did through SBA, but the actual loans we did through our local bank. So how is this one going to work? What are the requirement? Do we strictly do the application process through you, or do we need to start that through our bank and then they'll support through
Yeah,
SBA?
only the Paycheck Protection Program is the one that you're mentioning right now. The
Okay.
one that
Great.
it was a program that was through lenders and the banks, institutions. Historically, in the matter of disaster assistance and the disaster assistance program, it goes directly to the Small Business Administration Office of Disaster Assistance, like I mentioned, because of the pandemic and the COVID-19, we have made a virtual disaster loan outreach center.
Okay, fantastic. And that was the only question I had. If anybody else has any questions for Lewis, you are more than welcome to put them in the chat, and or you can take yourself off of mute and ask him directly. Does anybody have any questions?
I don't have a question, but just wanted to say a thank you for the information and the support for our small businesses. As Gina just mentioned, business has been taking a beating in the past year, but SBA has stepped up and been a big help. And so we appreciate that. Thanks for this information.
And thank you, Randy, for your words. I know that there's, just for example, for the COVID-19, the SBA disaster assistance received more than 5 million disaster loans. There are still some loans they are working with. We have had like a very backlog because it's a unique situation historically. We never experienced this. 50 states and 4 territories of the United States were declared disaster at the same time. So you can imagine how many disaster loan applications we received. The Small Business Administration even made a new webpage only for the COVID-19. That's what we call the Rapid Portal, and that's how people were applying for the EIDL and even for the PPP program. That our office doesn't work with that program specifically. That's through the SBA district office, and you can receive assistance and by the lenders. But even though it's been a pretty difficult year for all business, and the only thing that I will definitely say again is that even if you don't think you are eligible or you need a loan, I will make the determination to apply just because of all disaster applications that we are receiving. And since it's a first base, we work of a first come first serve. We encourage everyone that is thinking to make a to fill out a disaster application to start doing it as soon as possible.
And Lewis, you did mention the first come first serve, and we're familiar with that. Dealing with SBA this past year and a half. But has SBA put a threshold out yet for this program?
Threshold regarding the quantity of money, or?
Yes, the quantity of money that they're going to be giving out in loans.
Well, historically, for disaster loans, businesses for physical losses is up to 2 million. Economic injury disaster loan, up to $2 million. And home disaster loans for physical, $200,000. In the specifically case of the COVID-19, and because of the Congress allocation of funds, the SBA made a determination to lower that amount, specifically only for that disaster, to lower that amount for up to $150,000. That's the only declaration historically that we have had regarding economic injury disaster loan being lower than the $2 million that historically has been. So for this disaster declaration, it's $2 million.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, of course, a combination. If you own a business, own a home, and you as well apply for economic injury disaster loan, the combination of all the disaster loans that you submit, if you're approved, the combination of all will be up to $2 million.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any other comments or questions?
And I would like to mention, I don't want to put you on the spot, Gina, but I don't know if you can be the point of contact where I can keep you updated with any information that comes from the SBA, and then anyone that is here and interested to know more about it, they can even direct to the sba.gov, sba.gov, that is going to have the latest information, or I will be supplying to you with this information. And they can, of course, like I say, I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you can be a point of contact or you can direct me, I can definitely share that information.
Absolutely. No, I would be honored to be a point of contact, and we'll make sure to get that out to all of our regional partners and everyone that's on the call, and we'll share that out to all avenues that we can. Information is the key.
Yeah, and there are other programs. You can log into sba.gov. We have resource partners around the Texas area. and as well the district office. So all the chambers as well can contact the district office, and they can contact us.
Okay.
So definitely we have a plethora of SBA personnel down there in Texas. There's many counties that have been really impacted, and I know that historically, if we go back to Harvey, Texas has been in a very difficult spot in the years recent. So we want to keep update everyone that there's disaster assistance available, but we have like a deadline, April 20. If I'm not wrong, let me just double check. Yeah, April 20 for this physical disaster loan. So put that in mind, anyone that is hearing us, that you have that deadline.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, sir, we appreciate you taking the time to be with us today and informing us, and we look forward to continuing working with you and sharing the communication that is put out to me and the Hawker Heights Chamber. So, Louis, thank you.
Thank you for the moment, and thank you for everyone for the space.
Thank you, Gina.
Yes. Thank you, guys.